What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Now I have something pretty cool to introduce to you. I have a Damascus Style PPF. You want to call it carbon fiber, whatever. I don't know if you know what Damascus is, but it's like a forged type of steel. You see it in like knives and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, the pattern. It's actually amazing. This has like that almost like oil slick effect to it as well. So there's like a bit of like prism to it. This is from Apteryx, this film. I'm going to show you it right now. We're going to get into this and we're going to PPF the hood on this G35, Tesla Model S. Look like a G35. I have a couple of students here who I just trained who are hanging out, watching behind the scenes. Put a picture up there. They're having a beer. They're chilling out. This is the film. Okay, so this is full-blown PPF. This is the first of its kind. It's a polycarbonate PPF. Polycarbonate, extremely durable. You can Google it yourself. This is what they make like bulletproof glass out of, lenses, stuff like that. It maintains good elasticity, so good pliability. It's good in high temperatures. There's a lot of benefits about this. Now, you might think like, okay, polycarbonate, is this a good or a bad thing? It's a good thing. Now, if they laminated it with polycarbonate, this wouldn't be a very good thing. So I tested this because polycarbonate has a low scratch resistance, meaning for PPF, we kind of defeat the purpose, right? You don't want it to scratch and then not self-heal. This scratches and then self-heals. So it's mixed, the polycarbonate must be mixed in with the product itself. First of its kind. Apteryx also has like 300 colors, which is crazy. Like on their website, the link will be in the description below. There's like 268 right there right now. And the swatch books that I have, which I will show you, have even more because some of the stuff that I have like this, it's not even on there right now when I looked. So by the time you see this video, this will all be ready to go. Again, we're going to show you a full-blown installation of how this material goes on the hood. This is a hybrid installation material, which I have found out or have seen now that has a different air release pattern than any other brand that I've ever seen. Okay, so I'm going to try and show you this. This is the Damascus Style. It's called Ghost Black. So just so you know, it's not called Damascus, it's called Ghost Black. And this, if you can see it, you can see the air release pattern. But what's different about this is, to me, it looks like the air release pattern is shallow. Like it's not as deep. But you can actually see it. Installs dry or wet. I highly recommend wet installation for most gloss hybrid install PPFs, but that's to eliminate glue lines, avoid marks and stuff like that. Now this is another brand that I have, and almost every brand that I have looks more like this. So let's just put them side by side, actually, so you can see better. Okay, big difference in that. This one you can barely see the air release pattern, but to me it looks more etched in and deeper. So not a bad thing either. I'm just pointing out the difference between two products and two different brands in this case. But almost all brands have an air release pattern like this one. Well, this is the first time I've ever seen an air release pattern like that. So this is a pretty cool material. I'm excited to show you how this goes. We're going to go through all the details of this. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe to help promote these videos and help me do more of these videos. YouTube seems to be dying off for whatever reason for a lot of people. YouTube screwed around with the algorithm. Anyways, let's get into this. So I have my piece already cut. The hood is already prepped. Now this hood, this car's old. It was a 2013. Okay, so he's here. Just for proof right there, he's here. So we're gonna take the camera off and I'm gonna show you some of the imperfections, but it already has a clear PPF on it. And let's show you some of the imperfections. This PPF apparently was done from day one. Okay, stone chip, whatever. Yeah, if I throw a rock at the car, it's gonna go through. But there is PPF there, and I'll show you in a second how we all know. That's gonna show through a bit. And unless I remove the PPF, that's going to show through the material that I'm about to install over top. Same thing. Oh, that's a fluff. Well, I'll make sure I clean all that up. But here we go. You can see the edge of the PPF right there, right? On the corner. I tried to clean this up as much as I could. On the underside mainly, because the corners, it's been wrapped around. And they actually did a pretty decent job. It's not been terrible. But so I had to trim that off. There was some stuff hanging there. There was some stuff hanging there and so forth. So the The underside edge is only gonna be so perfect. There's some soap hanging off there. Just to let you know, again, this car is 14 years old. It's a pretty old car. So let's get into this anyways. Get the camera back on here and grab our material. So I'm gonna swing the camera over just slightly so you can see what I'm doing. I'll try and zoom in a bit, but it'll just be digital. I'm not gonna get too nuts with this. What I'll do over here while I'm here right now is just kind of show you their swatch books and I'll bring that into the camera because there are a lot of options. Like I had a hard time deciding on some stuff. Let's take that one out and take this one out. There's more options here than I've seen. This is twice the amount of option I've seen from even the next brand who has the next most amount of options. This book right here has some gloss. This is the first book, has number 1 on it. Has the most gloss, has some gloss at the beginning. And these look different outside too, guys, trust me. And then it begins to switch to some more of the matte finishes towards the back. Okay, so first half, bunch of gloss, and then we get into some matte finishes towards the back, or sorry, this is the wrong book. This is the gloss book. The other book switches from gloss to matte. This is more gloss in this one, but there are some matte and stealth / satin finishes here. Okay, so lots of options right there. There's probably at least, I don't know, 120, 150 in there. Same thing with this one. I didn't count them. Doesn't matter. Options are great to have, okay? This one has some gloss in the beginning. And I'm not sure if there's a different series with this. Like this color is pretty cool, this satin finish. I don't know how well that shows up, but again, I'm looking at a 2-inch screen. Just stuff I've never seen before. I have this here. I selected this as an option of what I wanted to wrap something in, so I'm gonna show you what that one's like. I'm a fan of red. I don't know, it's one of the colors that I actually like. I'm not a big color person. I actually have some of this also. This is cool. Have you seen how this shifts? Matte forged carbon fiber. And then we also have, like just tons. We also have some of this back here, not that one. I think it's back here. Yep, this one. So there's the ghost black. And then I have some of this one as well. So I'm gonna wrap some stuff in this stuff because I'm excited to see how it goes. Anyways, that's the color selection right there, just so you know. Let's get the material prepped over here. So slip solution, pretty standard, baby shampoo and water. pH neutral, very important. Let's wet the underside right here. So our PPF sticks to the table face side down, meaning color side down, right? Oops, let's put that back over. And then we're also going to re-prep the hood because we did see some lint on there. So I'm going to give that a bit of a wipe down. I'm not too concerned. He's getting a free wrap on the hood of his car here. I'm still gonna do a nice job either way. So let's wet this. I'll squeegee it off when I'm ready and then I'll wet it again. So let's just wet it for now. Okay, what we're gonna do over here is we're going to pre-soak or pre-wet, pre-slip the adhesive side of the material. All right, let's keep going. I'm gonna go around to the other side. This is a big piece. It's I'm not trimming anything off. So I cut this at 74 inches long or wide, whatever you want to call it, but the longest area, which is across the hood. And then I am not trimming anything off the front because this hood is about 55, 56 inches long from front to back. So why do I wet the surface of the table? Well, you can see right now, I was able to pull the liner off most of the way right now without even the PPF moving or even having to hold it. So it stayed, which makes you so you don't need extra hands to kind of do this. Makes it a lot easier. I'm gonna take this, fold it back over, and then just do the other bit from the other side. Because I don't want to pull off the liner entirely. I want to leave it on there for a bit. Let's peel up this side. similar situation, okay? Now remember, again, I'm going to squeegee off that hood, and I'm going to get into throwing this over top. Okay, we're going to leave that there for a second just to protect it, and then we're going to come over here and squeegee this off. So I'm going to adjust the camera because I'm going to be moving over here in a moment. There we go. And let's squeegee this off. Grab my big squeegee and get rid of any lint or debris that might have been falling onto the surface in the meantime. Because I've had this hood prep for, I don't know, a while now. We were just talking and talking about the products and other products and stuff like that. So got a little distracted, but that's okay. We're here now. Get this done. And preparation is very important, right? Okay, wet it again. He was nice enough to actually remove the wrap that was on there so that we could do this without wrapping over red, which would have been fine, but you know, looks better. And we're going to see how the material more or less truly is. So let's get the liner off. And then because because the material is wet, I can fold the material over and it can touch, the adhesive side can touch itself. It won't stick to itself. So I'm not really worried about that. And then I can bring it over to the hood nicely and get it into place. Remember, we also have tack solution for this. It's important for your edges. And here we go. Okay, drop that on there. I see this rainbow prismatic stuff in here now. It's pretty cool. Like they were mentioning it earlier, but when I was looking at the sample, I didn't really see it. And now I really see it. And you'll see it in a moment when I bring the camera in a bit more. Okay, so we're going to bring that over. We're going to bring this out from underneath. Again, you always want to try to be gentle, but it's not super fragile, guys. Just try not to crease it, okay? Make sure everything's nice and wet and you'll be good to go. Okay, so I've got a bit much on that side. We're going to come a bit more over on this side. And the next crucial part, okay? So I'm only about 1 inch over the top of the hood right now. So past the top corner. I don't want to be so high up that I'm creating a pocket from the window to the hood. Again, super important stuff. This stuff looks nuts. Let's zoom in. That way, okay. This is crazy stuff. I'll get you right in there to see all of this in the end. Trust me, you're gonna wanna see it. Okay, so let's get that right about there. That's good, okay. Same thing on this side. I wanna make sure that we're about equal. So I'm gonna come up a bit on this side. And there we go. Originally, when he brought this car in, I was like, man, I had an easier car here to wrap. And it was a smaller hood on a Mercedes. And I thought this was going to be oversized because it looks really long. It looks like it's longer than 60 inches. It isn't, which is nice. So this is actually not that bad. You can see how the material is sitting. It's sitting pretty flat for most of it already, right? So we're just going to let it kind of chill. Right here, we've got some fingers in the middle. No big deal. We've got some right here. Not a huge deal either. It's just going to kind of pull in and go flat like that. So we're going to anchor this without moving the material. I'm going to not even pull this tight across because it's just sitting so nicely, and start squeegeeing it out, okay? We're going to pull it on it eventually, but let's get it squeegeed out. Okay, so let's get this big finger out of here and get the center flat. Let's get that other finger out over there, just using our hand. There we go. And now we can start squeegeeing this out a bit, okay? So let's go. Make sure your surface is wet. This is crazy. You're not even seeing what I'm seeing right now, like when I'm moving around this. It has like a holographic prismatic effect to it. I don't even think you're gonna see the imperfections that are in the PPF that are there because of how crazy this is. Okay, over here, when I get to the front, we're just gonna expand and pull down very slightly and get rid of that. If it doesn't entirely go away, it will when it dries. Jeez. It's really hard to see where I've squeegeed. I can't even see the water on top almost. It's just the slip solution. It's nuts. It hides everything. Okay, so again, we're just working the slip solution out. Whatever way you want, just work it from the middle, generally, outwards. We're gonna fix that. This is not so bad over here. We're gonna fix that in a moment. I'm gonna go over here to the easier side that doesn't need any fixing, and we're just gonna pull that a little bit tight. As you notice, the hood isn't latched. That's okay. And I want to tack this to the light. I don't think so. I think we're okay. Okay, so I'm going to keep that tight. Firm pressure on your first pass. That will help lock it in. And I'm just holding it in place with my left hand. That's the edge of the hood right here, okay? Just wait till you see this up close. This is somewhat the easy part, you know, it depends. It can be hard for people. There is a pocket or a recess here, which people could struggle with, so we're gonna take care of that. I still have more squeegeeing to do. This is a very wide, large surface area hood. Again, much easier to install this wet than dry. You could do it dry, but I wouldn't bother. It's coming out really nice. Okay, in this recess here, this pocket, we'll just push the material in and then follow through, okay? You can use warm or hot water for this, whatever you like, but it's really grabbing on nicely, and I don't think it's necessary. Okay, so that's already in the recess. I didn't do anything, no tack solution, no nothing. Okay, let's go to this side over here. We gotta fix up this jumbled mess. Okay, so something like that. Maybe lift it a bit and just kind of let it sit. Wasn't really liking how it was sitting. There we go. And then again, pull it somewhat towards the light a bit. Tighten that up. It's okay to have fingers here. I'm not worried about it, but I want the center to be tight right there. So I just add a little more tension and I think we're good. Nice firm passes. Again, zero tack solution so far. Okay, I'm gonna hold it in place still. I'm gonna keep squeezing and holding it in place. It's gonna, when I hold it in place, the vapor or the moisture that's left behind here, which you can't see, if it was clear, you would see it, but you'd see it more over black or darker color cars. On white, it's kind of hard to see, but anyways, if this is clear on a black car, you would see the moisture that's there. So I want that moisture to dry so that the material actually sort of locks into place before I just let go. I could use tack solution, which would accelerate that, but again, so far not needed at all. Okay, I'm gonna let go and we're good there. Okay, so finish this up to the top. Okay, I have minor bunching here. I'm not really that worried about it, I think. But we'll put some tack solution. This is because I did not pull this material tight at all. I have some minor bunching right over here. It's be the same on the other side. So basically to have avoided that, I would have to lift the material up and pull it this way. Because this is a hybrid insulation material, you could let that fully dry and you could finish it off. You might get some glue lines when you do that, so I highly recommend getting majority of it finished, get it as flat as possible, and then if you have some fingers at the edge that need to be finished when it dries, then do it when it dries. But get it as tight as possible to the edge. So what I'm gonna do here to get this done is I'm gonna load it up with tack solution. Hot water would also help. My tack solution's cold, it's been sitting around for a while. I saw a bubble right there right now. There we go, let's just finish that off. It's easy to miss. This is very distracting, so it's very easy to miss spots. So be extremely thorough when it comes to squeegeeing. You don't want to miss and leave fluid behind. Okay, wow. It's messing with my eyes. Okay, so did I pump that up enough? We want fizziness on our tack solution. Okay, fizziness is very important because fizziness is oxygen, and oxygen helps get the material tacked much better and much faster. So we're gonna pull that tight. I should have slip on the surface. It's okay, I should be fine without it. Yeah, there we go, see? Tack down. We'll fix that in a second. I'll fix that afterwards. I think I might need some more tack at the top because I don't think I've loaded enough up here or put much at all. Oh, I think we're okay. Okay, this is all smooth. Okay, we're gonna fix this up though. What's great about here is I can pull towards the light, I can tack it to the light. So same thing. I don't wanna lift it off, I wanna spray underneath. I'm just gonna use tack on the surface for some kind of slip because I don't have any. And just pull it firmly, but just enough, not more than what I need to get it down and tight to the edge. Okay. We're gonna take it and also tack it to the light just to hold it in place. Whatever's here, the bumper, doesn't matter, anything that you can get it to tack to, just to hold it in place to give it a chance to dry in this spot. I do see right here, I'm gonna get some of that out still. There we go. And then right up top here, I had a feeling, I just couldn't see it from this angle, but I can see that I need to hit this with a bit of tack. I need more pressure. I see, again, fluid still, so we're gonna go over this again. Okay. Super thorough, guys. Be extra thorough. All it takes is another few passes, a few seconds with the squeegee. Okay, super fizz on that. Get some tack on the top again, just for slip. Again, slip is better, but when you don't have it nearby, I do have some over there, but this will do. Okay, and that's down as well. Just taking a different look at a different angle, that's down. Okay, other side. Let's bring the slip over with me this time. I'm gonna have a bottle that's a bit more full. Cool. Nuts. It's nuts. Okay, I'm just gonna put slip on the surface because I might as well have it ready because I know that I'm gonna need it. Right now, I just saw a bubble that I missed right here, so I'm gonna bring this into the recess, and I'm just gonna comb through anyways and bring anything over to the recess that I think I might need to, or stuff that I even can't see, and then from here, go up. Listen. Can you hear that bubble? I'm not sure if you can hear that or not on the mic, but probably did show up a bit. Look at the wrap on different angles, okay? And then what you also wanna do is you wanna dry this off as you go so that you can see if you've maybe missed something as far as fluid or air goes. Okay, so exactly the same thing as the other side. Oh, that's slip, it's the wrong one. Slip on the surface, tack underneath. It's already sticking pretty well, actually. Okay, hold that tight. Cool, hold it in place. We're gonna get this part done. Okay, same thing over here. I gotta get tack under here. Okay, hold that tight. I don't know if there's many people who've installed the hybrid PPF more than I have these days. I've done like 20 cars since August or September, I don't even know. And I honestly love it. Okay, go comb through that, just making sure that I didn't leave any fluid on the body line. This is a very likely area to leave bubbles behind or fluid. Still have to fix that up just a little bit right there, tiny bit right there, but otherwise we're basically done. And we would let this thing dry a bit before we roll around the edges. Okay, so let's go right here. And I'm gonna tack it to the light again and let it dry a bit more. Look, it's already stuck. Like I'm pulling that up right now. It's already stuck down here and I just tacked that moments ago. That's good. I like materials that I don't have to sit there and babysit. Okay, bring it down to the light. By babysit, I mean, I don't have to sit here and try and get the fingers down and stuff like that. Like when I push it, it just goes. It stays. That's what I want. Because it makes things go faster and more fluently on top of that. Okay, so edge of the hood, everything is PPF'd in the Ghost Black / Damascus style looking PPF. We're gonna let this dry. So before I even let it dry, I'm gonna bring you in so you can see this a bit. And I'm gonna wipe it off before I do that. So let's grab a cloth. I got one right here. And even before I split, I'm not gonna split this video, you won't even notice, but I'm gonna do this video in 2 parts for me because I need this to dry. But what I'm gonna do, oh, I left the bubble right here. Hear that? Hear that? There we go. Let's open that up because it's getting trapped at the edge. Perfect. Okay. Sometimes it's not as obvious as that. But what I'm going to do is tack the underside edge also before, at least around the back, before you do this. So what you want to do before you let this dry is tack solution all the edges and then you let it dry. Because right now it's pH neutral soap, but it's soap. We don't want soap on our edges when we go to wrap around the edges. It just doesn't make any sense. So we use the tack solution to go around all our edges and flush out all that soap. Holy. Okay, let's get this camera zoomed back so I can get you in for a more realistic point of view look. Okay, so this is definitely going to show up on camera. Look at that. It's like a star with the light, the circular light up top, my high bay light. See the rainbow? Oh, it shows up more on this tiny 2-inch screen than I thought. Super cool stuff. And this is PPF. This is scratch resistant, nearly bulletproof, I guess, because they make the polycarbonate, they make bulletproof glass out of polycarbonate. Like this stuff's going to be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to come back to this in a little bit. You won't even know. I'm just going to cut the scene. I'm going to leave the camera where it is, and we're going to start this and finish up the edges. All right, guys, I'm back. It's been about 30-45 minutes. We weren't really keeping track of time. Now, I did cheat and accelerate the drying process a little bit. You can do this if you want to, but do so at your own risk. You can take compressed air. So I did have this up, and you can hear it sticking. I did have this up, elevated, and then I blow very gently with compressed air from the center down to each side on both sides. And then I start at the very back and I go down back to the corners. So some of this, and I tested it. I don't think there's any water coming to the back corners. I didn't feel anything. It's a little bit actually. So one of those corners might not stick right now, but that's okay. I'll finish it up afterwards. You'll get the idea from how this goes. But yeah, if you want to accelerate the drying process and get rid of that running water, just know that you can use compressed air, but it is risky. With clear PPF, definitely don't do this because you'll blow even like lint and stuff like that underneath. Let that settle. But with this, because it's color, even if there's lint underneath, it won't show through the wrap. It won't protrude. It won't do anything. It's the coarse stuff like hair follicles, dirt, that kind of stuff will show through. So what we're going to need now is our heat gun, which I have right here. I'm going to take a box. I'm going to put it here is maybe best. And then I want the hood elevated while I wrap around the edges. It's pretty standard when it comes to doing this, but being thorough is key as always. So make sure that you're heating properly, okay, and enough. I'll start with the front. I don't normally, but I'll just start with the front since I have you right here. I'll zoom in a bit and get some closer input from the camera. There we go. Cool. Turn your heat gun on. Max setting. This one's rated at 1000 degrees at max setting. I don't know how true that is, but that's what it says. Now I control heat by time and distance. So how close I am to the surface versus how long I am, therefore, will dictate how hot this gets. If I want to have a cooler temperature, I just move the heat gun away, or I move more quickly. You'll see that I go pretty close, about 1 to 2 inches, maybe 3 at the furthest, and I keep my heat gun moving, which is crucial, until I pause. And when I pause, like for a corner, I stop for a moment, not a full second, not even a half a second probably, a moment, like a fraction of a second, and I heat it, and then I push the material down, and I heat it again, and I go back and forth. I don't just blast it super close for like seconds on end, because that will destroy the material. Let's heat this right now. First step, lead with the heat gun, and come across the top edge, okay? This material is not moving, which is good, so we know it's TPU at the very least, but this is TPU with polycarbonate, which is pretty cool. All you're gonna see is maybe the material like sort of drop down because it's relaxing. That's about it. Okay, over here, I'm gonna do the same thing. Come across this edge, and I haven't hit the corner yet. Let's come across this edge again. Come a bit more down on an angle, come all the way across, and again, not right to the corner just yet. You can do the corner first, it's totally up to you. I'm gonna come very close to the corner here, and then half a second at most, heat it, roll it around. Come from underneath, same thing, heat it, roll it around. Now, once I have it starting to roll around, I come in and I press down really firmly, and I add a bit more heat, okay, really firmly, and we want to massage the material around the corner. Remember, this material is being wrapped over clear PPF that's already there. And the clear PPF, being as old as it is, has seen better days. Okay, I'm gonna come straight across the top of the front edge right now. And that's hot because I can feel that through the glove. It didn't burn me, but it's hot. And I wouldn't want it any hotter than that because it would burn me. And now my material is underneath that edge. Same thing over here. Let's actually go for this side right here. Cool. You know what's funny? I was gonna do this on a rental and then just tear it off afterwards. Now this guy gets to keep it for free. But he has to just stay here and hang out. That's about it. So it's not a bad thing. Okay, let's go over here. So exactly what I've done across the front section is what I'm going to be doing around the side and the back. I just don't want to move the camera. There's another corner right here. So again, I'm doing it the same way as I did that one because it's the same style corner, and I wouldn't change it either way anyways. It's going to be the exact same with any corner. Again, I don't think this back corner is going to stick just yet. That's okay. The back edge should be fine. Oops. I dragged the material with my hand there. There we go. You didn't see that, but I dragged it because it was just a bit too hot. So always go warm first and then hotter on the very last pass where the material should already be down all the way anyways. And I will cut out most of this. I dragged there too. I will cut out most of this, other than the areas that I can't where it might still be wet, that it hasn't been rolled around, to show you like how the cutting part goes, okay? Okay, just lift that up, fix that, bring it back down. Still a little wet on this edge. I don't even know how, to be honest. Well, maybe not. Okay. This might have just been moisture, a little bit of moisture. Okay, let's go around. Other side. Corner here. Blast that pretty good for a half second at most. But again, even when I'm there for a half second, I'm moving it. I don't just hold the heat gun in one spot. Run by this edge. at least 3 passes per edge at minimum. Still wet on the back over here, but I will be able to get, I don't know, 85% of this cut out. And actually, once most of it is cut out, it'll probably dry a little bit faster for those last parts because the fluid will, the edge of the hood will just be more exposed once I remove some of the film. Okay. Yeah, back corner here, same deal. It's not really sticking that great. But let's just get over here, give it a bit of a reach, roll that under a bit, and that will be that. Okay. So for, what's the best camera angle for this? Let's go I'll just bring it up a bit. Probably don't need to move the camera too much. So something like that. And I'll start my cut from the back, and then you're gonna see most when I come around the front here. And what I'll actually do is I'm gonna angle this so you can see really close on how I go about doing this cut right here. So let's just get this, yeah, maybe around there. Let's go down a bit on it, I think. So you can kind of see that cool texture right there. Yeah, this is cool stuff. All right. Again, I'm just gonna start on the back over here and then work my way around, but you'll be able to have a pretty good view. I'm not gonna start all the way at the back because I can't yet, it's still a little bit wet. You're gonna have a pretty good view when I come around that corner there on how this looks as far as the cutting goes. That squeaking sound is just the PPF. And I try to do a nice long pass, stop, move myself, continue that pass. And I'm gonna go from this corner to this corner right now, because it's easy to reach. And when I stop, if I create some kind of discrepancy or notch or whatever, it'll just be at the corner. It won't be in the middle of my cut. Okay, the next step, I'm just trying to position myself to stay out of your way here. So, trying to think about how I'm gonna do this comfortably. Comfort is key. Okay, so I'm gonna do this right now. Let's go right here and duck it down. There we go. And I'm gonna stop at the corner again, right there. Cool. I'll even move the camera more this way. Why not? Well, since we're here, let's actually go from this angle now. There we go, something like that. Let's go a bit more this side. Cool. All right. This has to be heated afterwards, okay? So it's always heat, roll around the edges, cut, and then heat again. The last heat is super important. Can't stress that enough. The first heat's very important too, because you're kind of post-heating a little bit as well for the corners and stuff, but the last heat is super, super important. Again, I can't go all the way down. I just cut into the PPF that's already there. It's kind of annoying. Just stop my blade for a second. It's okay. And then I'm gonna stop where it's not dry yet, so like there, okay? Let's just remove that piece. And so I'm gonna cut it off on this side so it doesn't get snagged on anything, and I'm just gonna do the back edge. I'll do the back edge, and I'll move the camera to this part right here. This area, sorry. And then I'm gonna put the hood down a bit because it's easier to cut, okay? So you can see right here, like, this is not, oh, it's sticking now. Okay, so I guess the heat gun, when I went over it, dried it out enough. I could finish that off right now, but again, not super necessary because you're gonna get the gist of it. I'm gonna move, let's put the camera down, sorry, the hood down on the box just to see where that's gonna sit. Okay, so right there. The hood's sitting a little bit more horizontal. Right now it's on an angle, okay? If it's more horizontal, it's gonna be easier to cut the back edge because you won't have to angle your blade. Meaning, we'll just start on this side. You won't have to angle your blade like this. You can angle your blade more flat. This might feel unnatural to you. It's fine for me because I know the angle, but if you don't angle your blade like this and you angle like this, you're gonna end up skimming across the edge and you could expose the paint and you don't want that. So we're gonna go with the angle of the hood, super important. Again, squeaking is just the PPF itself. The Ghost Black, doing that squeaking. Okay. It's gonna always gets awkward over on this side for right-handed people. And keep going a bit more. And let's see, this is pretty dry almost all the way through here. I'm gonna finish it off pretty close to the end, bumping into the PPF that's already there. It's the challenges we face sometimes when we're wrapping. It's okay. It's not a huge challenge. Okay, and I'm gonna trim that off and we'll deal with the rest afterwards. Okay, same thing on the other side. Now, when I go over this with heat afterwards, see if I can get you in a position where I'm not gonna be in your way. So when I go over with heat with this afterwards, what I will do is I will finish up the last bit like here and on the other side, because that's where the water was running to. And then that will be it. And then I'll cut that out and that'll be done. But whether I keep that on camera or not is a different situation. Okay, it's still a little bit wet there. Let's see. So you can see it's sticking, so we're good. Remove that piece. And you know what, since we're here, what is the best angle to get access to this corner? Because this corner is a little tricky. Is it with the hood all the way up, or is it with the hood partially down or not? This is a tricky corner because it drops down between or below the fender. And you can't even see that right now, so let's get that down in there. So, and you still can't see that corner because it's down in, well, maybe you can. It's down in behind the fender, which is annoying. It happens though. There's cars like that, like the Audi A4 that I haven't had in the shop for like the past 5 years is like that. Volkswagen, I think, is like that. So you're gonna run into that once in a while. Not a huge deal. I'm just gonna get in there. I'm gonna heat it, and then I'm gonna have to lift the hood up. Sorry, put the hood back down to get the corners up so I can trim it. I'm not even liking that much, that angle. Like there would be good. Still, is it too wet? No, maybe not. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm gonna let that cool before I cut it. You do not want to cut the PPF or any wrap when it's that hot, okay? I'm gonna go to the other side. I'll try and zoom in if that gets you any kind of perspective, but there's not any real point of bringing the camera over that far to show you the exact same thing. Yeah, this is a good angle, it's different. Okay, so right there. Right there. Okay, let's try it there. I have to get the PPF's just stuck to the fender right now. It's okay. Get that below. There we go. That makes things easier. Considerable amount of heat, okay? Just that helps round your corners off really nicely. If you don't use enough heat, your corners will not come out looking nice. Okay, since I'm back here with the heat gun, I'm gonna go over the edge and finish up my edge with my post heat. Super important. So you go over it with mild heat or medium hot heat first, and then hot afterwards. So the medium hot is just to kind of get the edge down first, and then you can heat the hell out of it once the edge is down. You won't risk creasing the material or folding it or whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna come across here a bit and work my way around. I'll fix the camera in a second, but I might as well, since I'm already over here, finish this up for this side right here. I'm gonna come around, we're gonna switch this up, but I'll do the cut down here. Oops, down here. Where am I? Right there. Here first. So let's do the cut. Take my glove off because it's annoying to hold the wrap. Yeah, what's the best angle? Here. Yeah, I think so. That allows me to sort of get under there a bit better. Now I'm just staying out of your way. Normally I don't cut like this at all. I'd be standing like where you are. That's the hard part about perspective when it comes to recording. It's like just getting you guys into the best spot. but putting me in a compromising situation. Okay, let's go this way from here. I'm gonna cut back this way, again, underneath the edge, running my blade along that underside edge. I need to actually come around behind you guys here to do this properly. So now I'm gonna take my knife, bring it in. We're still on camera, yeah, we're good. Okay. Keep the material tight. It's always very important to cut the material when it is tight. And then my blade comes right around the underside edge of the corner. This way I don't leave any extra material. Remember, this corner wasn't perfect to begin with, okay? I had that little bit of PPF that was kind of popping out just a bit. I tried to clean everything up as much as I could, but it wasn't really worth trimming that off too much. It probably might have made it look worse. Okay, so while we're here, again, I might as well just take my heat gun and heat up the corner and finish up the corner in the back edge here. So I'm gonna start just in the middle here, just get that going. Let's heat that up, nice and hot. And you know what, me heating that up quite a bit like that was probably gonna actually push down some of the clear PPF that was there and just make that a little bit prettier. And overall, a little bit more rounded of a corner. So again, I'm gonna start in the middle, just make sure that was plenty of heat. Nice and hot this time. That was the second pass, more or less, and then we're good as far as that goes. So let's go back to the front of the car and show you what the rest is gonna be like. And again, it's nothing fancy right now. It's just wrapping or just finishing up the edges with some heat and some pressure. Okay, let's go right there. So I went all the way up to this corner here. I already did the corner, but I'll do it a bit more again. Why not? It's not gonna hurt. Take me another half a second. Because again, being thorough will never cause you any issues. It will actually prevent issues. So overall, in the end, you'll see that doing the PPF on this hood in this Ghost Black from Apteryx, I don't know, it took me no longer than almost any other hood wrap, other than having to wait for it to dry, which I didn't wait that long. And I was doing other things. We were hanging out, talking about stuff. But I could have done a mirror, I could have done a fender in the meantime. I could have done all kinds of different things if I was wrapping the whole car, which I'm not. I'm just doing the hood and the mirror. So it wasn't really much of a point or any type of a rush to get into doing the mirror. We just hung out and enjoyed ourselves and wrap, you know, that's it. Whole point, just enjoy yourself. And in the end, you get to enjoy an awesome looking product that just looks badass. All right, this is done. So let's bring you over, let's close the hood and bring you over and show you what it looks like. So again, remember that this had a 14-year-old PPF on it from the beginning. Let's get the camera back. I'm gonna get the camera off the tripod right now. I mean, I can keep it up here just for a second, just so you can sort of see it at a different angle maybe. But let's just get it off of this. Looks silly with the box there. All right, close the hood. Oh yeah, let's go underneath and see the edge if you want to see that. It's right there, okay? It's very, very little material. And how can I trust that? Well, because I know I have no tension, and I know that I was thorough with heating and wrapping around the edge. So we're gonna put the hood down. Just press down on that, and there we go. We now have a Ghost Black Damascus Style hood on this Model S. Looks badass. I want to see, I think it looked cool down the whole middle of the car, to be honest. I wonder what the whole car would look like in this. Who knows? I don't have a car, I have a Jeep. I don't think it would look good on the Jeep, but this is cool. You see the rainbow effect? I mean, I'm sure you have already, so. Sick. Let me know what you guys think about this, because this is the coolest stuff I've seen in a long time. I have not seen ever a hybrid insulation material with this effect on it, ever. So First of its kind, finish-wise, texture-wise, whatever you want to call it. Also, polycarbonate, so first of its kind in that form of things. This gets a, I think I forgot to mention it, but I believe it was a 15-year warranty, which is absolutely nuts. I can't even believe that. I don't even think anyone keeps their car for that long. But if you do, you've got a fully protected car for 15 years. That's gonna look great. So guys, let me know what you think about the finish. Let me know what you think about the texture. Let me know what you think about Aptrix. We're gonna be doing some other videos on this stuff because I have a couple of other cool finishes. And I have this red that I wanna show you guys because I really like red on the mirror, but stay tuned for that one. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, links all in the description below. Thank you for watching as always. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.